All right, everybody, welcome back to Movie Talks Joe. We are your hosts. I am Tony Serrato.
I'm Gavin Butts.
I'm Patrick Wall.
And in this episode, we are going to be discussing first. I'll tell you why we're going to be discussing it. So, we mentioned last time my friend Lenny, who's now a friend of the show.
Not Kravitz.
No. He had been putting comments on YouTube. We mentioned them. One very nice comments. Thank you, Lenny. And I said, if there's anything you want to hear or us talk about, like we tell everybody, just email us. Talk to us, Movie Talks Chill, or you can send us a message on Facebook or YouTube or any of our platforms. And he said, so he gave a couple ideas. So we said, hey, that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
So Lenny, this one's for you. And the episode topic is going to be worst endings of all time.
Yes.
Worst endings. Now, we want to be clear. This is our opinion
Yes.
of what we think is the worst endings of all time.
And we will also be looking at, some write-ups of where people have said.
I've already got a list pulled up.
We all do. But it's not just our opinion. We are looking at, other people's opinions as well and weighing in on that because, we're critics now. And I hate your hat.
Why? They didn't even make it to the playoffs this year. All we had to do was beat the Jets. We couldn't fucking do that.
That's all critics do is they just say they hate stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Hot takes.
Yeah.
I hate your face.
How do you think about the Jets' new stadium? Let me guess. Disgusting?
Yeah. Disgusting. Oh, a hitch reference.
Yes. There you go. There he is. Something he actually saw. By the way, that was a great ending.
Yes. The dance scene at the wedding?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to pick him up. It's like, come on.
Now that we
The only part of that movie I can still remember to this day is Will Smith kicking Eva Mendes in the face trying to get on the jet ski.
Hey, it happens. These things happen.
Indeed.
So that wasn't a worst ending.
No.
No.
It was actually a quite fun ending to a movie. So go ahead, kick it off there, Patrick.
So my number one, and I think I've mentioned this countless times on this show, is American Psycho. I hate that ending. It is the worst in movie history. It's all like, you have to figure out, it's your interpretation. Was he really a psycho? Like, there are way more things involved. Like, people are starting to call him by different names at the end of the movie.
Oh, no, he was a psycho.
Oh, yeah, he killed Jared Leto. I'll high-five him for that one.
Killed several people.
Yeah.
And then he tried to feed a cat to an ATM machine.
Yeah. Well, it was hungry. It said, feed me.
But the director's like, it's your interpretation of, what happened throughout the movie. No, I need closure, goddammit. You tell me what happened. I hate it when they do that kind of crap.
This movie also speaks to us with people. I remember being in a relationship at the time, first time I saw that. And the whole movie, he's been sawing up and murdering people in cold blood. And then there's a scene where he beats the homeless man to death and then beats his dog to death. And the girl I was watching it with was, oh, the dog. I was like, really? 8 people in? Now you're worried about the dog?
Now, the only thing I will say is, I'm much more sensitive to dogs getting beaten than people. I mean, I like seeing a person get beat pretty well. But if you hurt a dog, I'm
All right,
gonna
John
get
Wick.
sad about it. I'm going to get sad. Just saying, there are lines. There are levels.
There are lights.
There's right and there's wrong.
I could watch Terrifier 86, but if he kills one dog, I'm done with the series.
I would be done with that. I'd be like, listen, guys, Terrifier, no bueno.
Okay,
Sorry, Art.
A24.
I think that's why John Wick did so well. They're like, yeah, I'd do that if someone killed my dog.
Okay. What about you, Gavin? What is the worst ending?
Mine is the Leo DiCaprio Great Gatsby. I hate how flat that ending came about. It is just, and I know it's, that it was a great book adaptation, but the scenes in the movie, like when they were leading up to him and what he was like the first half of the movie was just gorgeous, awesome. And then like they're like, and so this is the end. I feel like fucking Ben Stein wrote that second half.
Well, at least they told you.
I mean,
it's over now.
yeah.
It's the end of it.
They did.
Unlike The Sopranos, where it just faded to black.
It's very clear.
Yeah, they didn't cut
Very
off
clear. This is the end.
You don't need a 20-minute lore video to
By the
figure
way,
out
that had a great ending.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just like
I'm being
everything.
saved. You can't say suck my dick and expect to go to heaven.
It's true. It's true. But I just think I feel like the ending on that fell very flat, and I've never liked the movie because of that.
I never saw the movie, mainly because I had to read the book in high school, and I thought it was awful. And I was like, I'm not watching a movie version of this.
Yeah, but you're a fan of Tobey Maguire.
Who isn't?
He's in the movie.
Well, he's in a lot of movies. I'm still not watching the movie. He's a professional actor.
He's in a lot of movies.
I like Pleasantville. And I recently rewatched the first Spider-Man from Sam Raimi.
We'll get your take on Seabiscuit next time.
Yes.
Yeah, he
give me a
hasn't
week.
seen it. Yeah, he hasn't seen it.
Give me a week.
Yeah. Okay. All right. But to a quick point, when you said about like The Sopranos, the show, I know it's not a movie, but later on they did
Because
that.
we never talk about TV shows.
No, never. But they did do. David Chase did do that special, that episode special
Me and
later
you
on.
went over to Steve's place to watch it.
No, not that one.
Oh.
No, this was not the movie. I'm talking about a 2-episode special. You weren't there for that.
Oh,
one.
okay.
And it was basically, it's called Wise Guy, and it was basically, he talks all about The Sopranos and stuff. And then towards part of the interview near the end, they mentioned that about the ending, and he's like, well, he's like, and basically he's explaining why he never gave an answer. And he's like, and then he gets you again because he's like, but listen, it's been long enough. If you really want to know, what the true ending was, and then they cut it to black again. And that's the end of the episode. I'm like, you mother, how dare you? I was hopped up on lasagna because we went and got.
I had a carb overload.
I was hopped up on fresh bread and lasagna and salad because we went to Cesarinas again.
You dirty motherfucker.
And I was like, I hate you.
I hate you.
So, but that was just a side note. Since you had to bring that up, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
for that pain.
And I also like when that episode aired, like HBO fielded some, just thousands of calls of, hey, what happened? My HBO went out. They're like, no, that was actually how it was wrote. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Get me Chase's number now.
Yeah, right now.
I mean, as diehard as some of those fans were, I'm surprised most people didn't send in death threats.
Yeah, I'm sure
Because
they
there's
did.
enough psychos out there that do nothing but sit and watch TV shows.
Yeah, yep.
And they get that involved with it.
Or it's like the end of the Truman Show where they just turn off the TV and they all just start reading books or talking to other people.
Yeah. But even
Or
the
that
Truman
one
Show
guy
had
gets
an
out of the
ending.
bathtub for the first time in like 3 years.
But even the Truman Show had a good ending, though.
Oh yeah,
He's
that
like,
had a great ending.
what
I
is
don't
it?
see
Good,
you.
good afternoon,
good evening, and good night.
Yep.
And then you see his true love running down the stairway to go find him.
Yep.
It was
How
adorable.
sweet. That's so sweet.
This still,
At least it ended.
It still takes me back to Friends with Benefits. Why do they make movies about what happens after the first kiss? They do. It's called porn.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very
Oh,
simple.
yeah.
It's pretty much.
Pretty much.
That's what it's called.
What about you, Mr. Tony?
Lord of the Rings.
Which one?
The first one's the only one I watched
Oh.
because I had to sit through that monstrosity and wait for 3 hours
All
for the
right.
ending to be, I'm glad you're with me, Frodo, in the little canoe thing. And then they ended it. And I was like, I will never, ever watch another one of these again. Because it was a whole movie of nothing happening.
Well, the next
And you're
two-
like, this is going to be epic. They have to do something big, like a blast from a meteor or something. Or
Sean Bean died.
I was gonna say, yeah,
cares?
Boromir's Last Stand.
who cares?
Oh,
The
Oh,
ending
God.
of that
you
movie.
have no heart.
The end of that movie, man, I swear. And I love Peter Jackson. I think he's a phenomenal
He won an
director.
Oscar for that movie,
I'm sure, people have won Oscars for garbage too. I mean, what are you gonna say?
Yeah,
Y'all
look-
know from
yeah,
the day
look at-
one of the show how I felt about Lord of the Rings.
Look at
Yeah,
$1
that's
Million Baby.
Look at Frighteners.
Frighteners. Oh God. Yeah.
True.
Man,
They
that's
got so much shit.
I like that movie. I like Frighteners. So yes, that would be my number one top
Speaking of
go
hot
to.
takes, we're gonna get a couple of comments on that one.
But that's fine. Because I've said it before. And again, like we said at the beginning, this is our opinions.
Exactly.
And if you disagree with me on this one, you're just wrong. So
Hashtag not sponsored.
pound sign.
Yeah, pound sign.
Pound sign not sponsored.
I wish I was recording the one phone call where you said hashtag on it to me, just so I can you've said it before. Just
I don't
play
think
it
I've
back.
ever said that word to you before.
You called me and you're like, hey, when we're making the post, make sure, and you're like, I hate to say this word, but start using hashtags. It actually helps.
No, I said pound signs.
Nope. You said hashtags.
Do you have it on record?
No, I
Then
don't.
it never happened.
That's why the point of the story was I wish I had a recording.
Yeah, I wish I had $1 million too. So let's also talk about, and so the very first, even though I don't dislike the movie anyway to begin with, but Nightmare on Elm Street, because it terrified me as a child, the first one, if you watch the ending of that movie, now it starts out, the ending seems it's like it's going to be cool. Like she beats Freddy, she opens the bedroom door and she's outside of her house and it's all bright lights and everything, everything's nice and crisp and clean. Her boyfriend shows back up, who all of her friends had died. Shows up in his convertible, which was Johnny Depp, his first movie, by the way, 1984.
Did not know that.
Is his first feature film. Yeah, they
I've only
picked him
seen
off.
bits and pieces of. We know my level
Yeah.
of tolerance for horror movies.
So they get in the car and then all of a sudden, and the mother
Yeah, pretty much.
wakes up and she's all clean and sober because in the movie she was a big drunk and stuff. And so as they're getting in the car, all of a sudden they see the little girls playing, it's doing a little song. I'm not going to sing it. The convertible top comes up and it's Freddy's colors, the red and green color stripes as the convertible top, and they get locked in and the car just starts driving off and the mother's waving off. And how they cut the movie, she gets pulled in, like you see Freddy's claw come through the little window in the door, and he grabs her and pulls her through. Now, they didn't have money at the time for this movie. So what they did is, it's her standing there, you see the claw come out, she's screaming, then it cuts real quick, and then it cuts back to her, and it's literally like a Barbie doll.
Oh, really?
And you can literally see it's just a doll being pulled in through the window. It is impossible to not mistake that
That's Thanksgiving level of budget right there.
for a doll. It is impossible, which was weird for that movie because for the money, for the no budget that they had to make that movie, they actually had pretty good, like they were able to make it look creepy and eerie, and they had some good effects overall. I think they said they had an alternate ending. They went with this one, but they had done it and it just didn't look good, but they were pressed for time, I believe is what they said. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that's what they said the story that was. But we'll show you that little ending offline, and you tell me if it's not a doll.
Name that Barbie.
Yes. It's Malibu Barbie.
Name that Barbie.
It's Babysitter Bobby. You can see a little stroller in her hand.
I'm Dreamhouse Barbie.
So yes, for a movie that, even though it creeped me out, but for the time and for what it was very well done, and it could scare you, and all the stuff was really creepy. That ending just ruined the whole thing. That's my take on that. I'm Tony Serrato, and I approve this message.
Well, let me go over one real quick that I kind of, I guess I maybe agree with a little bit on. The Departed.
Okay, I like that ending.
The greatest movie with the worst ending.
It's not a bad ending. It's spoilers for a movie that came out in 2009. Everyone outside of Mark Wahlberg dies.
So it's personally, this is the quote from the site. Personally, the best movie with one of the worst endings. I don't like the way it was done. Yes, I was shocked Leo was shot in the end, but to kill every main character except for Mark Wahlberg within a 30-minute time frame killed this movie for me.
I thought that was dope. I thought it was a great ending.
I mean, I can kind of see where he's coming from. It's because throughout the movie there was so much like darkness, like people were just hoping for some light at the end of the tunnel, and the only light you have is, wow, Mark Wahlberg killed
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon. Like, okay, woohoo, that's it. That's what we got. Now everybody's just fucking dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all dead, man.
So,
But I mean, I kind of, I kind of sort of agree with, but still, The Departed, amazing movie.
oh, 100%.
Now there was one on listing on here because I went on the IMDb thing
It's
of
the
like,
one I have.
is that the one? So one of the ones that I can agree with, but I think it's it wasn't the worst. I don't think it's the worst ending, but they put in there The Villages, which isn't a horrible movie. It's not
I
bad.
do know the ending to that one, and it kind of it's
Well, because they reveal
so
like
weak.
like most ever. So the most common ending for movies in the weak category would be either they're dead the whole time, or like they never were alive. But using the death and they're a ghost the whole time thing. I mean, with the exception of The Sixth Sense.
because
the
that one was
way-
done so well.
Well, because the way he did it, because if you watch the six, like, and I'm saying the Sixth Sense was a great ending.
Yes.
If you watch and you go back and watch the movie, like when he's remembering everything after he tells him he's dead, if you go back and watch the movie from the beginning and you notice every time he's talking to the wife, there are situations why she would,
Ignore him.
yeah, why she would ignore him. So that was well done, but no, using the whole thing of like they were dead the whole time. It's like that's what pissed most people off about the ending of Lost too. Is like
Yeah.
apparently they were all just dead the whole
Yeah,
time.
they were in purgatory. That's
Yeah.
what the island was.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I don't have to watch that now. Thank
Yep.
you.
It's still a really good show. There's a polar bear.
There's a polar bear.
It's a polar bear. I can just get one of those watching a Coke commercial.
Did you see it get shot in the head?
No.
Then watch Lost.
Damn it.
And there's a big smoke monster, and they go back in time.
Now here's one I can
That's a
definitely
big
disagree
smoke
with.
monster.
There really is.
This one on here says Return of the Jedi is in a list of worst endings of all time. I do not think that's
don't think
true.
so either.
I don't think it is either. But I mean, I kind of see how. I guess people are saying that it like
Because the Ewoks are involved with half of it, so I can see.
that part too.
nothing wrong
But
with
like,
the Ewoks,
I don't see any reason at the. I do like the remaster version where they bring in Hayden Christensen as the
The
as
Force
Anakin.
Ghost. Yeah.
Well, because he had that was who he was when he was redeemed.
Yeah.
But I still like the way that Yoda looks over to him. Someone put a meme up. It's like when your boy kills the like 2,000 younglings, but still gets invited to the party, or heaven or something like that. And Yoda just staring at him like, "You bitch."
So there's one on this list that I kind of agree with, and it's Signs. I didn't particularly care for that ending. You swing away, and all he did was swing a bat in a house filled with water cups to kill one alien, and then the guy becomes a priest again. Weak. Yeah, just saying it.
I agree.
Yeah.
Shit's weak.
Well, it's like also the ending of. Did you guys ever see that movie? I know you probably haven't, but Gavin, have you seen K-Pax?
Yeah, with Kevin Spacey.
yeah.
Where he goes around the movie saying that he's from another planet, but everyone's like, "No, you're just mentally insane," and you're like, "Is he? Is he not?"
Do you
Yeah.
remember the ending of it though?
No.
I
Yeah.
don't remember the end.
No, because I think if I remember correctly, I think they left it pretty.
Ambiguous.
Yeah, if I remember, because I know he did have
because the whole movie was ambiguous about
Yeah.
whether or not he was an alien or not.
yeah.
What was the other one with John Travolta where he was like that too?
Oh, that was Phenomena.
Phenomenon. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was more. He had a brain tumor.
Right.
He
Well,
thought he got struck or saw some alien thing. that
Yeah,
got
but-
him.
you only learned about the brain tumor in the last 5 minutes.
Exactly. But that's the thing is like he thought that he got like touched by God or
Yeah.
picked up from the aliens. I can't remember which direction they went. But I mean everything that he did was amazing. Like wild.
Well, he was able to because of the tumor.
Yeah,
So the
it's-
tumor was giving his brain that access to
Yeah.
open up. But I wouldn't say that was a bad ending, though. At least
No,
that
no,
one
no,
was.
no, not at all.
They,
I'm
they
just-
flat out
I
explained
was
it.
just
Like,
saying, yeah,
dude, you got a
at,
brain tumor. Okay.
Right.
You're about to die.
Yeah.
You won't die.
How long do I have? 5.4.
3.
Well, I will say too, and this is going to account for not just the worst, what I consider one of the worst endings of all time, but the worst. Let me ask you this: can I use a finale movie in a series as the worst ending, being
Yeah.
that it's the last movie? All right, Halloween Ends then.
Okay.
Okay.
Halloween Ends was the worst thing. I was so excited about that movie because when they brought back the Halloween continuation in 2018,
Halloween Kills, right?
and Halloween Kills was awesome. Halloween Kills was even better than Halloween. And then Halloween Ends, you're expecting this saying, and I think we've talked about it on the show before.
I'm
There was
sure
like
we have.
it was almost no Michael Myers for like the first 50 minutes, and then it was like some other kid kind of taking over, and Michael was weak, and then she chops him up. And it was a good, nice ending that we actually have the body, we're chopping him up, a finale. But the movie was supposed to finish the series. and to that end the whole series with such weak sauce like that was really disappointing. It's the worst ending. And it's literally called Halloween Ends. So
There's a movie on this list, and technically it does have a really, really bad ending, but that's only because the entire movie is really, really bad. And it's Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Yep.
If you haven't seen it, good. Don't.
good.
Lucky you.
Yeah, right? 'Cause everyone's really excited about a brand new Indiana Jones in like 25 years, and then they really, really shit the bed. They really did.
I mean, they didn't do much better with the last one they did either.
I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah.
But I do know there's a new Indiana Jones video game that just came out, and that kicks ass.
Yeah, that's. I think that's off of the Temple of Doom, right?
I don't think so. So you do play the initial part, like
Yeah.
the Boulder part.
Right.
But then after that, it's a completely different story.
Okay.
It's exclusively on Xbox right now because it was made by a company owned by Microsoft. But if you have a PlayStation 5 like me, April is going to be your best friend.
PlayStation.
Yes. Who's currently celebrating their 30th anniversary this year. So, respect.
Nice.
So I have one, and I've kind of like, I believe I've said this before a couple of times with the ending, and probably when we were covering sci-fi films, but Tom Cruise's War of the Worlds.
Yeah, so I can totally agree with that.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, even though they had Morgan Freeman's voice explaining what the fuck happened.
They caught the goddamn cold.
Yeah. Once they mixed with us and our germs and down to our biology, they just
Died.
couldn't take it. They have these giant walking machines with shields that can vaporize a human being in seconds. But they have no cure for the common cold.
Nope.
So I remember seeing the original from the 70s, but I can't remember the ending to that one.
I can't either.
Tony, do you remember?
No, not the original ending.
Okay.
Sorry.
Damn.
Sorry.
The one with Tom Cruise, though, yeah, that ending blew.
I mean, I don't understand how they couldn't just figure out how to give their computer a virus and take down the shields. Oh, wait, that's Independence Day.
That was done, and that was done well.
Yes. Minus the second movie. The second movie is...
Oh, we don't talk about that one, because that one killed my chances of a Stargate revival.
Oh.
Yeah, now I'm sad.
Now, here, let's do a couple that I think we could agree that we can disagree with this. So there's two of them. Number one, Now You See Me. I disagree
Oh,
that has
fuck that.
Yeah.
I think that is a great
The second
ending.
one
Hell yeah.
was weaker, but the first one was really
Well,
good.
I mean, it's kind of hard to repeat the first one.
Yeah.
It's like every other movie outside of the first Hangover. Like,
Yeah.
And the other one, I know that you've actually seen this one, and I think we can all agree that I don't believe it's the worst ending or even a bad ending is Identity. Someone has it on the list as one of the worst endings.
Well, that person's wrong. That
I'm like-
entire movie kicks ass, and that ending was like point perfect. Like, because everyone thought that Jake Busey was the killer, and like, we got out of here. And the next thing you know, little baby, the kid shows up at the orange orchard and just kills the girl. And then is it? It's not Vincent D'Onofrio that's in the real world, is it?
No, that's
No.
not him.
Yeah. Well, he just wakes up as the kid, and then he starts killing the two cops in the car.
Yeah.
That ending kicks ass.
Yeah. So, sorry, Entertainment News, YB Entertainment News, but I gotta disagree.
Yeah, that sucks. This is one we can agree that the ending sucks. Once again, it's a movie that just sucks in general. It's the Hulk. No, not
Just Hulk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Ang Lee one. That movie was terrible. The movie was
No,
so
the whole
terrible.
movie was bad.
Yeah. But everything in that movie was bad. Even Eric Bana's acting was bad in that movie.
Yeah. Well, the way Ang Lee did the shots to make it look like a comic book where it was constantly the screens were splitting and moving around, it like gave me
Yeah.
vertigo watching it. And I saw that in
Yeah.
the theater because I was excited about it. And I'm like, whoa, I'm like getting dizzy here. I couldn't even finish my Twizzlers. And that's a problem. When I can't finish my Twizzlers.
Your Wallabies.
Well, now they're Wally. Back then, I'm talking back when the movie came out.
Oh. In
Wallabies wasn't
2003.
discovered until Cocaine Bear.
If you want to watch a really good Incredible Hulk movie, go watch The Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton.
yes.
That movie is awesome.
Yes. I do enjoy that one much more.
So there is a movie on here that I don't think is a bad ending, but I
Okay.
can see why it would be on the list.
Okay.
Titanic.
Oh, when she wouldn't move over, the biggest argument everybody had.
Yep.
There's enough room on that raft.
You selfish bitch.
Planet of the Apes. Oh, was it the 2001 one? That's with Mark Wahlberg.
Was it Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah. That's the one where he actually comes back to the future, but he finds a gorilla cop at the Lincoln Memorial, but it's not Abraham Lincoln. It's another monkey.
It's another monkey.
Or ape, as the film would imply.
Going back to Titanic, I'm trying to remember this meme, but it's like showing the old lady, and it was like, I think it was like bad reviews of movies, and so it was just her, and it's like the story of a woman, of a widow, who her husband gave her a loving 50 years of marriage, and she held out their whole life fortune for a man she or it's like a homeless man she had a one night stand with.
Yep, basically.
Because she had the diamond the whole time and could have drastically increased their status because that thing was worth millions of dollars, but no.
I mean, at that point, you just go marry Billy Zane. Leo's dead. You go marry Billy Zane.
Yeah, but that's fine. But geez, you got the diamond.
Yeah.
Why not just sell the fucking diamond?
Because it was a secret of love.
Oh, shit. Bullshit.
Money can't buy love.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
love can pay, give me a lot of money.
As they say in Deadpool, you can't buy love, but you can rent it for 20 minutes.
Yep.
Baby knife.
Now here's one that I'd say it's a bad ending because it's sad. It's a good movie that became sad at the end. That's Pay It Forward.
Never seen it.
Yeah. Oh.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? I shouldn't actually say that anymore. I should just
Yeah,
be like,
we're-
okay.
We're
Yeah, it
almost-
sounds about.
Yeah.
we're 3.5 years
Well,
in.
so it had a was it Haley Joel
Haley Joel
Osment?
Osment.
And it's Kevin Spacey's in it. He was a teacher, and he does something. The kid does something good. He helps somebody, and he starts this movement about paying it forward. You know, the old saying like, do something good for someone, and then they get something good done to them, then they do something good, and blah 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 blah. So he starts this whole big movement. He gets like well known in like the media and stuff. People are covering it, and he gets like shot or something at the end, doesn't he? He ends up dying
He gets stabbed.
or stabbed. That's what it is.
Because he's it was supposed to be his third thing that he never really did, and it was standing up for his friend.
Yeah.
And so he finally, his friend's getting bullied, so he goes to stand up and help him. And about that time, one of the other kids pulls a knife and doesn't mean to, but stabs him.
And he dies.
And he dies.
Baby knife.
And he dies.
Way to go.
Yeah.
Baby knife.
Well then.
That's Patrick's opinion, not ours.
Yeah, right? Not the opinions of Movie Talks and Chill.
This is the last movie I can talk about on this list, but The Matrix Revolutions, the third one.
I just
Well, yeah,
wish
'cause
that
it's-
movie would implode.
Yeah.
The final fight between him and Agent Smith was so CGI and not very. It was good back then, but now you watch it in a 2024, 2025 lens, like, wow, that's garbage.
It's really bad.
Yeah, that's terrible.
And then when they tried to resurrect the franchise,
Yeah.
that was
even
worse.
worse.
Than that. It's like you should have just left it at the bad thing that
Yeah.
it was.
I don't know. I didn't hate the new one that came out on HBO
Oh, I
Max.
did not like it.
I didn't say I liked it. I just didn't hate it. I thought Neil Patrick Harris did a great job in that movie.
Well, yeah, he's NPH.
Yeah, I mean, what
Duh.
are you gonna do?
Like the end of Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. Like I said, dick move.
Yeah, and they pay for your lunch.
Here's $50 for the food and $200 for the cleaning up of his back seat. Left some love stains. You'll see.
You'll see.
You'll see.
So I have one here, and I'm not even going to ask Patrick on this. I'm pretty sure he hasn't seen it, but the number 23.
Haven't seen it.
Okay, yeah,
I just think it was a really good attempt for Jim Carrey to try to do, a dramatic role.
yeah. Which he had already done with like
Yeah.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Yeah,
and
that's
stuff
the
like
one
that.
with Kate Winslet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, maybe that was just he wanted to keep doing that, but I can agree at with the ending of it is kind of it just falls flat. Whereas it's basically he has amnesia and he finds this book that got published, and through all the consequences of it, he starts remembering things throughout his life, and then he finally realizes that he wrote the book and he did everything that was in the book, so he goes and turns himself in. Woohoo.
Yep.
Like, no, you start part 2 of your killing spree right here. Somebody asked for your cornbread.
I want to see somebody die.
I want to see the lights cut back on.
So there's a 2009 movie with Nicolas Cage, and this movie is creepy to begin with. But
The
it's
Wicker
called,
Man?
No, Knowing.
Oh, knowing.
It's along the same lines. It's about numerology, and he's trying to figure out a code. Basically, he finds this list from the 70s, and it's nothing but just numbers. And sooner or later, you figure it out. Like the first 2 numbers are GPS, or first 2 numbers are latitude and longitude, and then the next number is the number of people that are going to die. And then at the very end of the list, all it says is EE. And so you spend this whole movie trying to figure out what the hell EE means, and you find out it means everyone else. Because there's a giant world-ending event that's going to happen. Even though Nick Cage plays a MIT professor and studies the sun, he couldn't figure this out 2 days before it happened.
Oh, he was busy. Busy with the other numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
But
He didn't carry the 2.
Yeah.
The reason why I do not like this ending is because it dramatically shifted into an allegory for Adam and Eve at the very end. I was like, that's such a wild turn. Like, what? Where the hell did this come from? It was a tonal shift, and I did not care for it. But outside of the ending, it's definitely a creepy movie.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't not hate it.
I did not hate it, but I don't
Patrick's
not
really
love
wavering
that.
here
Yeah.
on his stance on movies.
Yeah. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it.
I didn't like the ending.
I didn't
but the
dislike it, but I didn't like it.
It's not bad. It's not great. But it's not
I
bad.
didn't like the ending, but the rest of the movie was all right. The next one on the list is called The Mist, and I know we've seen that movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like the ending on that.
That made me cry a little
Well,
bit.
yeah, all right. Was it heart wrenching? Fuck yeah.
By
But-
the way, we're about to spoil the shit out of a movie from 2007.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
If you haven't seen it, you should go watch it. It's creepy as hell.
If you haven't seen it, what is wrong with you?
Even I've seen the movie.
Yeah,
That's
it's
saying
not really.
something.
It's not really a full-on horror film.
No, but it's-
it is.
It's the scene that lives rent free in my brain is
Spiders?
now it does. No, it was towards the beginning of the movie where you see the bug just flying towards the store, and you're like, oh, it's like a little mosquito that's gonna land on the window, and bam, it's the size of like a toddler. And then you got the tentacle coming in the receiving bed. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But spoilers, massive spoilers for the ending. They get out of the store, they go into the car, and the husband or dad realizes there's no way he can survive. That they're all going to die. So he kills his family, and he's about to kill himself when the National Guard shows up. That's messed up.
Yeah.
Thanks, Stephen King.
And so there's kind of like a fan theory about the Mist. I know they're crossing boundaries here, but they're saying that's kind of how Cloverfield starts.
Oh, really?
Is that was like what the army was tampering with was that space-time continuum, and then it opens that doorway.
So that would have been a great fan theory until Cloverfield Paradox came out.
But that's the thing. That's the part with the multiverse is that different universes can have their own cataclysmic event,
That's true.
Yeah. You didn't know that?
and that's how they can cross over, like with that stuff. But no, I really like that. That had a great ending.
Yeah.
I do like that with
Especially with the giant, as they're falling back to Earth, the giant kaiju just rises up out of the clouds.
right. Yeah. Because the other. The space station that they were crossing over with, that's where the monsters were, was in that universe.
And we brought them here.
And yep, here they are.
We brought
Yay!
him here. Good job there, guys. Way to go. Way to be on top of that, military.
Yeah, way to be on top of that military.
Nice job. Stop tampering with stuff that we don't need to tamper with.
I've seen a lot of places that, I Am Legend
Yeah.
had a shit ending.
And I don't really agree with that because you're basically now. Are they saying the ending was bad because he kills himself,
Well,
or allows it not kills himself, but allows himself to get blown up with the other?
Yes.
And because there was actually a place to go to, a safe haven.
Yes, because there is an alternate ending that came out that was released, I think, maybe on the DVD when it came in. So the alternate ending was basically he sits there and he's trying to, he's worried about all his work getting destroyed, and they break in and they basically he gets rendered unconscious. But the main, like the leader, can't remember what they were called, like
They're supposed to be like zombie vampires or something like that.
I mean, they are, but it's more of like how humanity has transitioned.
Yeah.
And how it evolved into something different. So in the alternate ending, the leader of the pack or whatever comes up, scoops up the woman, and then walks off with her, and then everybody just leaves.
Okay.
So I think I think they were toying with how to do that, but I'm like, I completely agree. Like the one where he just like he's fought so hard to try to make something of that, and then he's like, no, fuck this, and then we're just going to destroy everything.
Yeah.
So the quote, part of the paragraph from this list that I'm looking at that I Am Legend is on, it says, I Am Legend ending is poorly executed because the main character had spent the better part of 3 years trying to find other human survivors, but when a woman shows up and tells him there's a camp of survivors, he chooses to die. Robert's nonsensical decision to fight for survival for years only to give up. Oh, stop reloading, damn. Only to give up when there's only to give up when there's actual hope makes for one of the worst movie endings. And yeah, I think that's basically what you said. So, yeah, 100% agree.
Yeah.
There you go.
What he said.
Yeah, it's nothing like the Rise of the Skywalker.
The rise of the
where
Skywalker.
The whole fucking movie. It's yes, you must bring Rey before me so that she can strike me down, and we will be one Sith, and she will rule the galaxy. Oh wait, you guys have this thing called a dyad that can heal me, but okay, yeah, I'll just do that then. You fucking kidding me?
I will say though the fight between
Suck it, Disney.
not Ren, the Kylo Ren and the Knights of Ren. I thought that was a really cool fight, especially when they were doing that that force passing between each other move, and he's like, "Oh crap! Oh wait," and then he just like kicks the shit out of him.
I'm sorry, nothing beats Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor's fight.
Oh no,
That
100%.
is like, that is they have
That's the only reason why I like that movie.
They have like side by sides of all the fights that happened in the 3 that Disney made, the fight scenes, and then they just put like training videos of Hayden Christensen, like so much faster and so much crisper. I'm like, yeah, that's right. Suck it, Disney.
I will say
Choreographer.
So you
suck.
think it's even better than the which one? Revenge of the Sith you're talking about?
Yes.
Yes.
So I would say at the end of Obi-Wan, I could compete that was even
Oh,
better.
agreed.
Oh yeah, that's really
Because
good.
it was the 2 actual masters
Yeah.
going back at it
Yeah.
again. No, I agree.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like in the 3
In the movie,
in
yeah,
those
the movie,
movies,
actual
oh my
movies,
god,
yeah.
it was terrible.
Very in the prequel movies, the very close second is the fight with Darth Maul.
Yes.
Because I think everybody lost their shit when Darth Maul fired out the second
Oh, yeah.
lightsaber.
Yeah, there's it's a meme now. It's like, and it's I don't remember what fight it was, but it's like Joe Rogan and Dana White, the announcers for UFC, and like they're watching a match and they're like, oh, like holding it, like the whole crowd goes wild. So you like it's a scene where he just comes in, he puts the one out, and then he hits his button, the other one comes out. I was like, It's like, and it was like every 12-year-old in the theater. It's like,
Yeah, pretty much.
I was one. I was one of the.
I think it was 16 at the time. No, I was 14 or 15 at the time, and I still did that.
Yeah.
It's almost the same reaction I had when Captain America picked up Thor's hammer in Endgame.
See, I heard a bigger the theater I was in. I heard a bigger reaction when when the Avengers Assemble came out. That's
So the theater I went, it was opening night.
I'm not crying.
The entire theater lost his shit when Captain America picked up Thor's hammer, but when all the portals started opening, like everyone was like,
Yep.
you could hear like the entire theater just gasp.
Yep.
And it was amazing.
They
The
ran
last
out of
half-
oxygen for 2.5 seconds in
Yep.
that room.
And then
It turned into the vacuum space.
Yeah, it's like,
and then when they go over to Tony and he's dying, you hear like almost in unison, all these grown men in the theater go.
yep.
Say, I'm not crying, you're crying. There's a lot of dust in here, isn't it?
Popcorn must have onions in it.
Freshly chopped.
That's awesome.
That's why, fun tip for all you men who want to be manly men out there but still have sensitivity in movie theaters, bring an onion with you and have a knife ready to cut it open. If you know you're about to cry, you can blame it on the onion. That's a special tip from Tony Serrato, and I approve that message.
So there's a list that puts Glass as a movie that has one of the worst endings of all time. I don't know if I agree with that. Don't get me wrong, I definitely didn't like it because it lore dumped in the last 2 minutes that I definitely wanted them to expand on that more. But I thought it was a solid conclusion to the trilogy. Like I didn't hate it.
I'd say the movie was a solid conclusion to the trilogy, but the ending was, yeah, I think it was kind of weak because it had such of, being the type of movies they were, because, Unbreakable, was a slow movie. It was good. I loved it, but it's a slow movie. Same thing with Glass. It's slow, or not Glass, Split. They're slow movies, but they have such really good buildups at the end.
Yeah.
And this one, it was like a big thing, and it just kind of just went flat, in my opinion. I don't know, just the way it was done. It just kind of really
I just didn't like it
flattened
in the
out.
last 2 minutes. You got this whole lore dump about there's a group of people that know about these people with these special powers exist, and their job is to control them, contain them, and make sure and monitor them. And then when shit goes a little bit wrong, like, all right, like rack a shotgun, like we gotta go kill him.
Let's go do some killing.
This is my killing spree here.
Shall I shoot him, Pa?
So this list has The Shining on it.
So the only thing I could say about that is I love the movie. I did like the ending, but I think people were just a little upset because he just got lost in the snow maze.
And it's also
and the
wildly
maze and the
different
snow.
than the book.
Yes.
So in the book, they blow up the hotel. So I think this may have been people who are very big fans of the book were probably like, oh, that ending sucked because it's not what I read.
Well, haven't you seen Ready Player One? Like
Yeah.
it's the movie that Stephen King wrote the book on and hated the creation of the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he wasn't a fan of the way Kubrick did that, so
Yeah.
they battled quite a bit. Well, he was never a big fan of how most movies of his were done.
Yeah.
Except for the Langoliers.
No, he did like that. He didn't mind Misery either. But
Well, that's because you get to see Kathy Bates break James Caan's foot with a 2x4.
called hobbling. She hobbled him. But I will say they did do a lot of good explanation later on in that movie Doctor Sleep. That came out a couple years ago. That's
I don't
the
think I
sequel.
saw that one.
That's the sequel to The
that's
Shining.
The sequel. That's
Ewan
the one
McGregor.
Shane's in
Okay.
there.
What's that?
Shane's in there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
but
Ewan McGregor's in that one, and
that's the canonical sequel to The Shining.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because it's about the
you haven't
kid.
seen it? I think it's on Plex.
It's on play?
I
Okay.
think so.
Yeah, it's all about the boy from the first movie. He's actually grown up and he's still using the Shining powers, and he's
Well, no, he's not. He's drinking a lot to numb it.
Oh.
He's turned into an alcoholic to numb.
Oh,
But
gotcha.
there's other people now involved, and there's a girl that has the Shining that he's got to go help. But there's also these other weird, I can't remember what they're called. They're like these gypsy people, but they're actually, I don't know if they're full on entities or ghosts, but they suck the life out of people. And there's one horrible scene where they kidnap this little boy. And the reason why it's horrible is because,
you've already said they kidnapped the little boy.
well, that's fine. I mean, you kidnap people, whatever.
Chris
I'm not
Hansen-
condoning kidnapping children by any means.
And Chris Hansen's about to knock on your door.
No, the worst part about it was the scene of what they do. So they have him on the ground, and they're basically trying to suck the soul out of him. but they also just start and the kid's crying his eyes out. Like whoever this kid was, he actually was either legitimately scared or he was just a good actor and crying. But he's like begging him, "Please, I want to go." Like he's a little kid, he's scared, and they just start cutting him and all this stuff and just torturing him. And but you hear the kid screaming, and
Well, this
it's again
sounds horrifying.
solid acting. I'm like either solid acting or pure terror from the child. Whoever that kid is, I want to know if that was real or if that was like they just said, "Hey, we're gonna scare you a little bit," and then just went off the charts. Or
Sometimes
it was-
they do that. Like
it was horrific though. You listen to watch that scene. Tell me what you think.
I'm
So
good.
like I remember the original Transformers when Shia LaBeouf's holding the Allspark and he's out on the ledge and you can like hear it in his voice. Oh, it's like he was on a ledge. They
Yeah.
didn't have any hook on him or nothing.
Well, that's
There was
stupid.
no like they were like, we just want you to walk out there on that ledge, and like that little slip he made, like that was pure terror.
You guys better have a net down there. Seriously.
Yeah.
No, I don't need any kind of rope or
All right, I'm
harness.
getting on this fucking ledge, you assholes.
Don't the stunt guys normally have harnesses? I'm not the stunt guy, and there's no
I don't get
harness.
this.
You sure this is safe?
Oh yeah, you're fine.
Is this OSHA approved?
So I want to read this excerpt about one of the movies that somebody thinks has the worst ending, and you know what? I don't disagree.
Okay.
It made me angry. The first half of the film, maybe even 2/3, is very interesting. The whole "it sucks to be Superman" was a welcome spin, as I've never cared for superhero flicks. But the last third was so bad, it was like the person who photocopied the script accidentally combined the first 2/3 with one interesting film and the last third of a film that made absolutely no sense. Hancock.
I was trying to pinpoint because I know a lot of people didn't like Man of Steel. I'm like, that can't be right. I was
No.
like,
A lot of people didn't like that ending, but I liked it. It actually showed that he couldn't be a pure paragon the entire
Yeah.
time. That's why he
Yeah.
had to kill God.
yeah.
But no, this is Hancock, and I don't even agree with the first half. I think the whole movie sucks. Genuinely.
Well, I didn't mind it. I mean, it was just a random movie that someone made that wanted to get a little bit out of the normal superhero genre area.
Yeah.
You know, make them
their
like basically
intent
just
was good, but their execution was garbage.
the only part that I
Hey,
was like,
They're both
Good job.
yeah, good job.
Good job.
You did good job. Well, the part that whenever they find out that his wife has that ability too, Jason Bateman's wife, but if they get
Sarah.
near each other, they weaken. That was the only thing I like didn't fully.
And that was the
understand.
last third that the
Yeah,
guy was talking
that's
about.
that's the part that felt like the cop out. It's like, oh yeah, we just all pair up and die.
Yeah, it's like really.
Okay.
That sounds like a horrible life.
Yeah, like so. Like
That would make you never want to date.
Yeah, yeah, right.
What if you're the one? Well, I'm feeling pretty weak now. Get away from me.
You know what? I'm cheating on you.
Yeah, a lot.
Probably one of the funniest scenes in that movie I like is like when he's having sex with the girl and he's like mountaintop, and he goes and he just like shoots holes in his ceiling and she's like staring up in fear. He's like, yeah, don't nobody want that.
It's true. It's a true story.
It's like, could you take me flying? It's like I can't. Like you like face would come off or your skin come off your face, and yeah, I don't need that.
I will say this. I think in general, when it comes to genres of movies, most of the time, horror movies is the genre that disappoints people the most.
Yes,
I would say that.
Well, and oftentimes because people like they sat through a horror film, they want at least a little bit of a happy ending.
Yeah.
and it's usually not. It's like
Yeah.
no, this is a horror film for a reason.
Or just the explanation just becomes stupid.
Right.
It's like, like the ending of the first, Friday the 13th. It was just his
Oh,
mother
yeah.
the whole time. Everybody thought it was this big thing. Now, obviously, I've talked about this many times before about, I think, even though I love Halloween as my number one series of films, Friday the 13th had the greatest idea for progression. His character constantly changed in every movie.
Yeah.
So I'd say they do that well. But I'd say
And
most time.
technically, there were only there were two movies where Jason was not the killer.
Yes, that's correct.
And the worst one was one where they were out on the farm and it was
That
just
was
like
5, the new beginning.
Yeah.
I know the first one was the mom.
The mom was the first one, and then in 5, he was a random taxi
Drifter or
driver
something,
or
yeah.
something, or a truck driver. Heard the story of him, took over the mantle, but he does show up at
He
the very
shows up
end
at
of
the
it.
end, yeah.
He comes back to life.
So this is interesting. So this list has the movie Fight Club on it. So the American version of the film, it's genius. I loved it. But apparently in the Chinese edit of the film, the cops arrest all the criminals and stop all the bombs. And that's the ending. And that's weak. That's weak as hell.
Shit's weak.
I mean, his name is Robert Paulson.
In death, a person does have a name.
His name is Robert Paulson. Yes, I will say though, again, but like I said, the horror genre, because most of the time it's either because horror movies, they have a thing where anybody who makes a horror movie, they're immediately like, we got to make sequels.
Yeah.
Even when they're writing the first one, they don't even know if it's going to get distributed. They're already planning on making a sequel, so they always make that surprise ending where, the killer's back, or it had a baby, or or there's this, or there's that, or it was really not that person, it was the other person,
Right.
hiding in the closet the whole time, or whatever the case may be. Or,
Basic instinct.
yeah. People under the stairs. But no, so that's why they usually fall short, especially because there's supposed to be this whole big buildup, and then there's usually a big letdown, or something completely off the charts of what you think it was going to be. But horror, that's their thing. They need to leave it open. They can never really fully end it.
Yeah.
Just end it already.
So another one, and I just think the movie itself is terrible too, but The Happening.
Yeah. Oh, the Wahlberg.
Yeah, that movie is...
Also,
It's the
probably
plants.
one of the best quotes that I saw is like, at no point in this movie do we believe that Mark Wahlberg is this weak ass scientist. And the quote was like, and that's the end of my story. I'm like, okay, yeah, 100%. But then I'm like, at the ending of it, it's like just all of a sudden the plants decide not to kill anyone.
Well, they killed enough.
Like,
Yeah. I mean, if I want to watch a movie about killer plants, I'm just gonna watch The Little Shop of Horrors.
Thank
It's
you,
a
yes.
way funner experience.
Exactly.
Or Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
So there was one on one of the lists I saw. It said The Lost World, the second Jurassic Park movie.
Well, yeah, they need to kind of that.
That was basically a ripoff of King Kong, so I can
Yeah.
understand why people hated it.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was cool seeing a T-Rex in downtown San Francisco, but once again, I saw it in the 3 other King Kong movies.
Yep.
This is just a poor version of Godzilla. So I'm just gonna say that.
It's a bold statement. Now that's a hot take.
Yeah. Well, you don't think Godzilla's better?
Oh, Godzilla's wildly.
That's what I'm saying. It's a poor version of Godzilla.
Okay, I don't agree with this one, but this is on the list. Law-abiding citizen.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
I like the ending of that movie.
I like the
that's-
entire movie.
That's the only way I seriously think that could have. I mean, not only way that it could have ended, but ended with a moral line, like not completely getting passed.
Yeah.
Because if he gets away with it, and all of the
City Hall.
the city hall gets blown up. Okay, so then what do they try him for? First off, at that point they have no evidence, so he has to walk free, and then he goes and does it somewhere else. Like, I mean, yeah, if you wanted a continuation, but this is like the best way to have you still feel good, like you were still rooting for Gerard Butler all
Yeah.
the way up to the end. And you're like, all right, buddy, it's time.
I would have been happy with either ending. Like if he had actually gotten away with it, and it was like, yeah, you mess with an engineering genius. He outplayed everyone.
Yeah.
But the ending that we did get, Jamie Foxx actually finds the garage that was helping him get out of prison and do all the work, and it was like, all right, I could dig this too.
The only way I think it could be better with both worlds is that he put a backup bomb in there.
Oh, okay.
And he was like, well, you got me. There's no way out of this for me.
Oh my god, I can't believe I didn't think of this. Continue.
And then
gotta-
he's like, but I figured someone would stop me, so I have a backup plan. And then you just hear his phone start ringing, and he's like, bye, Nick. And then he explodes, and then he gets a phone call, City Hall has been exploded.
Yeah.
Two birds, one stone.
So this is more like along the lines of what you said at the beginning of the show, like how you hate it, like everyone's been dead the whole time, and it's just, or it's been a dream sequence. It's been like, it's just a lazy writing,
Yeah.
effectively. So I can't believe I didn't think of this movie, because I actually liked this movie all the way up until the end, even though it kind of got panned in the reviews. It's another Nick Cage movie. There's a common theme with some of his films, but it's called Next. So when he
Okay,
sees
yeah,
2
yeah.
minutes into the future, but when he's with Jessica Biel, he can see a little bit farther. And at the end of the movie, you realize he just saw 5 days into the future. So the whole movie was just him seeing the future, and that's a cop out. Like, no, at the very least, give me the sequel where they actually find the tactical nuclear weapon.
Next.
Weak sauce.
Weak sauce.
Well, one ending I didn't like, and it's because I didn't like the entire movie, was Interstellar. I hated I hated
liked
the ending of that movie.
I
I'm
thought
like,
it was great.
I was just
that,
like,
that could have
eh.
actually gone with the other topic that we had in mind. Spoilers, we may do it. You know what? I'll wait until we actually do it.
Yeah.
yeah,
Shut up.
yeah. Wait, you wait. Damn it.
No.
No.
Shame.
Although I will say,
Bad
there's a movie I loved, and the ending wasn't bad, but well, I guess it would be hard to see the movie without this ending, but I was still kind of disappointed by it. It was Reservoir Dogs. Because at the very end, everybody shoots at each other, when they're all like, because they think that, he's the rat who really was the rat, after he's shot the whole time and Harvey Keitel's defending him the whole time. And then they're all standing there. They meet back at the meeting spot in that warehouse where they've been at. And, they're all pointing guns at each other and they fire at the same time. So they're all dead. And then so everybody else is dead. Harvey Keitel, he's, I think he got shot, but he's like he crawls back over to him. So Harvey Keitel is going to die anyway. And Tim Roth's character is going to die regardless, but everyone else is gone. And he decides at that point to tell him that he was the cop. Because if you remember, that's when Harvey Keitel just like starts almost like that crying, like that angry, like, oh, I'm so frustrated kind of cry, and then shoots him in the head. I'm like, you guys were probably all gonna die anyway. Like, why couldn't you just let it be that he thought he had defended properly? Like,
Right.
Why would you do that at that last minute? So that was the only problem I had with that film. Love the movie though. I think it's great. I think it's one of Tarantino's best. But
Yeah. I don't know if I hate this ending, but a movie ending that really annoyed me to the point to where I may not like it was The Thing. Where they all leave the research stations like, we don't know which one's which, so we're all just going to go. So they let the evil alien go. What they should have done is just killed each other. And that spider dog.
well,
Thankfully they did kill that
everybody else
spider.
who wasn't the Thing probably didn't want to die. So I mean, the whole point of the movie was
Yeah, but
trying to
you
survive.
can't let that thing out into the world.
They won't have to deal with it personally.
John Carpenter, give me a sequel to The Thing.
I
The
would
Thing
look-
2, Lost in Manhattan.
If I was one of those characters in that situation and we're making that decision, I'd be like, all right, if one of us is this creature or entity, listen, you go your own way. Just leave me alone for the rest of my life. I live here. Don't come there, and we are good. End of story. And then I would walk away.
Yeah. Start with the CEOs of insurance companies.
Yeah. But we are about out of time. Speaking of endings, I know you guys are going to hate that we're done talking about the subject, but we are coming close to
This
the
is my worst ending ever.
Yes. But we are coming to the end. Thank you.
I'm
guys.
only angry that the show is ending now because I know what our next topic is.
Yep. Well, buckle up, buttercups, because on the next one, we'll talk about that when we get there. But until then, for Movie Talks and Chill, we're your hosts. I'm Tony Serrato.
I am Gavin Butts.
I'm Patrick Wall.
All right, guys, take care.